Hi friends, today our topic is basics of neuroanatomy. The nervous system is basically divided into two important components, that is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system in turn consists of two parts, the brain and spinal cord. Functions of central nervous system. The central nervous system receives or collects the information from environment and whole body, that is self, through sensory system or sensory nerves, which is called the sensory input. These sensory nerves bringing information to central nervous system are also a part of peripheral nervous system. Once information comes to central nervous system, the central nervous system compares and contrasts the recent information with the past information. For example, if we are sitting at home, generally we will be aware of presence of all our family members like parents, brothers, sisters and children. We see them daily through our eyes and it is sent to central nervous system, and that information is already stored in central nervous system. That means sensory system is collecting the information of presence of all the family members at home, and it is sending that information to central nervous system through visual pathway. Suppose if a new person enters our home, this information also goes to central nervous system through sensory system, that is visual pathway. Then the central nervous system will compare the image of that new person with the past image in central nervous system, and then it decides whether it is a familiar face or is he totally a stranger to us. Here, what central nervous system is doing? It is comparing and contrasting the new image with the past image, because central nervous system has stored a lot of information already. Now it receives the sensory input, stores the sensory input, compares and contrasts it, and integrates past with the present, and then it decides about motor response, which may be movement of muscles. Suppose if the person who came to our home is already our friend or relative or already a known person, then our response will be we just give a smile by seeing him. Here, sensory input is we are seeing that person, and motor output is we give a smile. Suppose we went to a party and our favorite delicious food is served to us, and then our tongue starts salivating. Here, sensory input is we see the food or we smell the food, and the motor output is salivation. The system which is taking information or input and sending an output or response is known as central nervous system, and the system which is carrying information to central nervous system is peripheral nervous system, and the system which is bringing information from central nervous system to out as motor response is also peripheral nervous system. Here, input system to central nervous system is peripheral nervous system. Output system from central nervous system is also peripheral nervous system. So, what is the duty of peripheral nervous system here? It is sending information to central nervous system, and it is also bringing response from central nervous system. Peripheral nervous system is again divided into two parts, sensory peripheral nervous system and motor peripheral nervous system. Sensory peripheral nervous system is taking the sensory information to central nervous system, and the motor peripheral nervous system is bringing motor response from central nervous system. Sensory nervous system is again divided into two parts. They are special senses and general senses. Special senses are elicited or initiated from only specialized parts of our body like eyes, ears, tongue and nose, and these are vision, olfaction, taste, hearing and equilibrium. Vision is through eyes, olfaction is through nose, taste is through tongue, and hearing and equilibrium is through ears. Inner ear comprises of two parts, cochlear system and vestibular system. Cochlear system is concerned with hearing and vestibular system is concerned with balance. Vestibular system sends the sense of position to central nervous system, and the general sensations can be elicited from many parts of the body like touch, pain, temperature, pressure, vibration and proprioception. General sensations are further divided into two types of sensations. They are somatic sensations and visceral sensations. Somatic sensations are from skin or integumentary system and locomotor system, that is through skeletal muscles, joint capsules, ligaments and tendons. Whereas visceral sensations are from deeper parts of the body such as visceral organs. For example, abdominal cramps in diarrhea, and these are the sensations from gastrointestinal system, and the pain from viscera is usually a dull pain, whereas the pain from somatic sensations is sharp pain. Distension of abdomen which also lead to discomfort, and distension of bladder which also lead to discomfort, and the pain here will not be as sharp as that seen in somatic sensations. Somatic sensations going to central nervous system have got very important component called proprioception. Proprioception means awareness of position of the body. It refers to body's ability to perceive its own position in space. For example, if we stand in prayer position in front of God, even after closing our eyes, we can get both the hands to same position touching each other, and this is due to proprioception. And with closed eyes, if anybody asks us to touch our nose with our index finger, we can do that. How? It is also due to proprioception. One more example is when we are walking, one limb will be lifted up and another limb will be on the ground. Here CNS is computing all the information from the limbs, and it knows when one limb should be lifted off and when another limb should be grounded. If something falls into our eyes, central nervous system knows where our eyes are exactly located, and it brings our finger to that position of the eyes and then we rub it. This is also due to proprioception. And while sleeping, if we get any bite from an insect and it itches, we exactly locate that part even with our closed eyes and scratch on that exact place, and this is due to proprioception. So all this information, that is all the action potentials, are moving from different sensory systems to central nervous system, and central nervous system will compute like a computer every moment, and it decides how the different parts are oriented in space. Till now we studied that information is going to central nervous system. Are we aware of all the information that is going to central nervous system? No. We are aware of only some sensory information, and we are not aware of some sensory information to central nervous system. The sensory information which is going to central nervous system, some of it reaches our conscious level and we will be aware of that, and some do not reach conscious level and we will not be aware of that. For example, normal peristaltic movements and blood pressure which is measured by special sensory system like carotid sinus, which is having special nerve endings of ninth nerve, that is glossopharyngeal nerve, and the information goes to central nervous system about the changes in blood pressure, and we are not aware of that. So all the senses going to central nervous system, some do go to conscious level and some do not go to conscious level. Which part of central nervous system is concerned with consciousness means cerebral cortex. The input is going to central nervous system, and if it reaches the cerebral cortex, we will appreciate that in a conscious way, and if it doesn't reach, we cannot appreciate that in a conscious way. Examples are sensation of pain goes to conscious level, and sensation of blood pressure and digestion doesn't go to conscious level as in before. Therefore, seat of consciousness is cerebral cortex. Now, motor response. Once sensory input goes to central nervous system, it should respond. There are two types of motor responses. Some of the motor responses we can voluntary control, and they are called voluntary or somatic peripheral nervous system, and some motor responses we cannot control voluntarily, and they are not under our control, they are automatic, and hence they are called involuntary or autonomic nervous system. Suppose if a piece of pizza is kept in a plate in front of us, and if we like that, we start salivating, which is not under our control, and it comes under autonomic nervous system. And to take it and eat or not to take it is definitely under our control, and it is voluntary, so it comes under somatic peripheral nervous system. But once it goes into our stomach, its metabolism, that is gastrointestinal tract producing gastric juices to digest it, and peristaltic movements concerned with the movement of the food, all these are not under our control, they are involuntary. So these come under involuntary or autonomic nervous system. The skeletal muscles and locomotion are under our control, but the heart rate, pulse rate, glandular secretions, GIT secretions are not under our control. For example, if we see a dog chasing us, we run away. Here, running is under our voluntary control, while increase in heart rate while running is not under our voluntary control. These are called involuntary motor responses or autonomic motor responses. So, all motor responses can be categorized as somatic voluntary motor responses and autonomic involuntary motor responses. Involuntary or autonomic nervous system is again divided into sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Right now, while we are sitting comfortably in a position, sympathetic activity and parasympathetic activity will be at balance. But when we are under stress or when we are doing any work, sympathetic activity will go up and parasympathetic activity will go down. For example, after having a full meal, when we are going for a walk on the road and we see a dog chasing us, we run away to escape from it, and it is under our control. Running is under our control and it is voluntary and is associated with movement of skeletal muscles. And while running, our heart rate increases and the blood vessels to skeletal muscles dilate and the blood vessels to other GIT muscles constrict, and the blood supply is being diverted to skeletal muscles for running as a flight or fight response. So here increase in heart rate is involuntary, which is autonomic, but running is voluntary, which is somatic. But when we are sleeping or when we are at relaxed position, parasympathetic activity will go up and it will dominate in our body and helps in digestion of the food. Thus, sympathetic nervous system will dominate during stress and it is responsible for fight or flight response, and parasympathetic nervous system is dominated during relaxation and it is for rest and digest response. Now we will have a quick review about nervous system. Nervous system is divided into central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system consists of two parts, that is the brain and the spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system consists of two parts, sensory peripheral nervous system and motor peripheral nervous system. And sensory peripheral nervous system takes sensory input to central nervous system, and from central nervous system the motor output is taken away by motor peripheral nervous system. And sensory peripheral nervous system is further divided into special senses and general sensations. Special sensations are like vision, taste, smell, hearing and equilibrium, which are through specialized parts of the body, and general sensations are through many parts of the body, and they are divided into two types: somatic sensations and visceral sensations. Somatic sensations are touch, pain, temperature, vibration and proprioception, and these are through skin and locomotor system. And visceral sensations are through deeper parts of the body like visceral organs. Motor peripheral nervous system is further divided into voluntary or somatic nervous system and involuntary or autonomic nervous system. Voluntary means which is under our control, and involuntary means which is not under our control. And involuntary motor peripheral nervous system is further divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is activated during stress and parasympathetic nervous system is activated during relaxation period. Thank you.